Hi, Kim Wright again. So I am almost 5 months post ACDF surgery. I know my last video was a little bit of a mess. Still kind of the same. And I also noticed after reviewing these videos that I almost sound like I'm coming to an end, and then I'm like, let me just keep talking. And I also notice I always look away. So I'm gonna try my best to kind of like look at you guys as I look away. All right, so update. I'm almost 5 months past ACDF surgery, and what I had done, if you can see, was ACDF, which is anterior cervical, oh man, why do I always mess this up? ACDF, anterior cervical discectomy and fusion of multi-levels. So I'm 38 and I had 3 levels done. I had C4 to C7 done. And the last video I was saying that my surgery went really well. The first couple weeks I felt great, but then I started having some pain and I had to trust the process. That was kind of like everything from the past videos where I was saying the things that kind of helped me along, which was like that blue trigger point cane, and then like the beastie ball thing that I showed you a couple videos ago that I got from physical therapy. They helped. But again, prior to surgery, my whole thing, if you want to hear the whole story, basically like 2 years ago, I had gone to the chiropractor and they adjusted me and I kind of went slightly paralyzed and numb on my left side. So I used to be a pretty active person. I had like 9 years of martial arts, swimming, horseback riding, skydiving, like that was my thing. But what had happened was about 2 years ago, I was weight training and I was having so much pain in my left shoulder blade, and sometimes I would have some tingling and some like fumbling in my left hand and my fingers. So I was going to the chiropractor thinking like, oh, I'm in pain, I'm working out, let me go to the chiropractor, let me get adjusted and they can make the pain go away. However, it was never going away, and finally it got so bad that I could hardly even keep my head on my shoulders. I couldn't support it. The weight was just way too much. Something was going on. So they adjusted me again, probably shouldn't have, and that's when everything happened. So in that process, going to the ERs and what have you, they found out that I was born with what is called congenital stenosis. So if I was a normal person, which I'm not, and I'm kind of proud to not be a normal person, but normal people that have a normal size spinal canal, they might have bulges and herniations and might have some pain, and that's pretty much it, no big deal. However, lucky me, my stenosis, I have it in a couple different spots along my spine. And what that means is I already have a pretty narrow spinal canal, so my spinal cord doesn't have much space. So all the extra bulges and herniations really impinges my spinal cord. With that being said, all the martial arts, the car accidents, none my fault, that I had been in, I guess just over the years, my spine was just like, I can't do anymore. And that's where I was getting some symptoms. And unlike what some of you guys had talked about, that what you were experiencing, you guys were talking about some like major pain and what have you. Mine was fairly minimal. And 2 years ago, I ended up just doing, what did I end up doing? Physical therapy and steroids. And eventually, I guess the inflammation went down and I had like another 1.5 years that was pretty good. And, you know, I was traveling again, life was good. But then unfortunately, it kind of came back again. I was having the numbness and some weird sensations and some back pain again. And that's what kind of spurred me to go back to my surgeon to say like, can we get an MRI, see what's going on? And that's where it was just like, you know what, like we had some slight changes, but because of the stenosis, you know, we got to get this taken care of, because the nerve pain, which I think is like the biggest thing outside of just muscle pain, you want to make sure that nerve pain doesn't last for too long, because then it can become permanent. And as I've learned this go around, nerve pain really fucking sucks. So if you have that going on for an extended period of time, that's usually why they want the surgery done. Not to fix the pain, but to prevent any permanent damage or disabilities or dysfunctions. So that's usually the purpose of the surgery. So I went with Rothman Orthopedics. I went with an orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Victor Shu. He's amazing, has great bedside manner. I'm a pain in the ass as a patient, even though I teach anxiety and I'm an awesome therapist, but when it comes to medical stuff, I can be a pain in the ass, and he has really good bedside manner. So thank you, Dr. Victor Shu, if you're watching this. So what happened? So I was doing fabulous, and let me talk about my surgery. So anyway, so I had my surgery on August 24th because I was having the symptoms, and he's just like, eventually you're gonna need the surgery. I did get a second opinion. I got a second opinion from a neurosurgeon. They said the same thing. So because I already had the rapport with this guy, I was just like, all right, let me just do this. So I was scared shitless, thinking I was gonna have swallowing issues, I was gonna have more pain, I was gonna have all this stuff. I was so scared and like shitting myself. And finally I was like, all right, let's just do it. I did it, and I had like just like a week and a half where I really needed help with people, but I swear like it felt like I didn't even have surgery. Like I felt good. I was also doped up, but I was overall feeling okay. So month one, month two was kind of bad. That's where I kind of like my anxiety got the best of me, and little things I was feeling and twinges and what have you, I was just like going cuckoo because I live alone. So like I couldn't really talk to anybody to like process stuff. So like after I got done work, I was left to my own thoughts. So my anxiety really got the best of me. Stitches, I'm not a big fan of stitches, and I couldn't drive. So I was still like in this like dependent place. But once I got my anxiety controlled, which is in one of the videos I posted, was like, I really had to just like use my own skills that I teach clients, and I ended up doing better. So once I got the collar off, once I was able to get back to driving and being independent again, things were great. And I made a video, and I was just like, hey, like, knock on wood, like I'm doing really, really good. And, you know, I felt bad that some of the videos or some, you know, comments that I saw from people was like, they weren't doing good or they had a bad experience. And I was like, I'm gonna be like, you know, that one person who's like, yay, like things are good. Anyway, 4 months in, which is what was last month, that's what the last video was that you guys saw. So December 13th, I decided to go hiking. Nothing crazy, not like where I'm like climbing up rocks and shit, but like it was the first kind of exercise I had in a while, so it was kind of tough. If you guys are familiar with like Hawk Mountain, that's where I went. Didn't see any hawks, but it was still a nice like little outing that I did with myself. So I hiked. I had to take a couple breaks at times because it was a little bit arduous, but I made it. It was good. I survived. And it felt good. It felt good to kind of get back to some physical stuff that I had done before. So I know that the last video I said it was on December 14th, I lifted a heavy box. I don't know if it was just the hiking and the box, but after the 14th, I started declining, meaning, I felt like I had this weird, oh shit, you guys still there? I move around a lot. I just finished work, so I'm like energized. I just felt like this weird stretch, but I didn't have any pain. But as like the days went on, it went from feeling like I had a weird stretch like right under my fusion to like under my fusion hurt, and then my shoulder blade and my trap, and like weirdly like my boob and my armpit, like this weird spot in the back of my armpit just hurt. Like it was a muscular hurt, but was more like a nerve pain. And then I don't know what the hell happened, but I never experienced this. And if this is what you guys experienced, I think in the video, like I was experiencing it in the video, was like, I don't even know how to, it was like oh my God, I do not want to ever go back there again. But like from my armpit, my bicep, my tricep, my forearm, into my hand, my fingers, like it felt like I had like fire, electricity, and I felt like my hand was like the size of like whatever, and it just wanted to explode with like pain. Like it was the most uncomfortable thing. And I had a pulmonary embolism and almost died from that. Like I said, I had some weird medical shit. But that was like the worst pain, and it was nonstop. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sit still. I had to do all of my my therapy sessions with my clients. Like I had to do phone sessions because I had to lay on the floor. There were only like a couple positions I could get into for like momentary relief, but I couldn't sleep. I had to like prop my arm in ways. I could not get comfortable. And then finally, I think like after I made the video, I'm not sure if it was before or after the video, but nature's medicine did end up helping. I had it and I forgot all about it. My friend was like, hey, like you might want to do this, but I was like, oh, but I'm on pain meds. I don't want to like whatever. And finally I was like, I don't care. Like I just need, I was in a desperate place. Like this pain was so debilitating that Mother Nature's cure, it helped. It helped because it almost like put a blanket over me of like relief where I could breathe, I could function somewhat. I was a little loopy at times, but I wouldn't drive or anything, but it gave me the ability to sleep. It just kind of like took the pain down a couple notches. So like, yeah, I definitely like think that definitely helped a lot. I only did it for 2 days. And it significantly took my pain down because all the pain meds I was on didn't work. They finally put me on gabapentin, which does help. But then weirdly, like, I don't know, like I talked to my doctor about this. I talked to my friends, just weird. Like I only did Mother Nature's medicine for, I think 2 days. And then the next day, I think it was like 10 or 11, I had just woken up. And I didn't have that pain. It's almost like either somebody said a prayer for me and God or goddess, like whomever, was like, you need some help. And I had relief. It's like I had that blanket of relief on me where I didn't have this whole thing. Still have this whole fucking thing, which I'll get into in a second. But I had relief where I didn't need Mother Nature's help. I still took my pain meds and the gabapentin and everything, but it was like tolerable. And unfortunately, like that was the day right before my epidural. So, or my steroid and whatever the fuck it's called. That was on the 7th, I believe. So on the 6th, I had relief. And I was like, of course I have relief right now because I'm supposed to go get this thing done to take away pain, but I'm feeling fine. Like, what is going on here? It was bizarre, guys. Like, it was seriously like, I don't know how to describe it without sounding like a Fruit Loop, but I had relief. Like I still can feel the discomfort, but it's not as debilitating. But anyway, on the 7th, I went, got my epidural, and she's like, how do you feel? And in my brain, I'm like, the same as I did yesterday, and the same as I did when I was having Mother Nature's medicine. But it's weird. It's like the epidural, I don't know what it did, but maybe it lessened some of the pain a little bit longer than maybe what this God's blanket, whatever the hell you want to call it. Like, I don't know if you guys said prayers for me, like I think it worked that day. So I got the epidural. However, I don't think it really worked because what I'm still having, today's what? Today is the 12th, I think, or the 14th. I don't know what day it is. I don't know. The 11th. It's the 12th. Yes. So today is the 12th. And I have been taking gabapentin 3 times a day. I'm still taking tramadol, which I want to decrease because I don't think I'm having any like muscle pain. So why am I going to be on an opiate? I am taking Ativan. That does seem to help. It kind of like, you know, it's nice to be kind of chill, and it is supposed to be a muscle relaxer. But the biggest thing is the nerve pain. So what I'm still experiencing is if I'm like laying down, I don't know, it's just like weird. Like if I go in certain positions, like I still get like the nerve pain, but I'm not getting that like intense, I can't stand this pain. However, I am numb. Like I'm numb on like all here in my forearm. I'm numb. Can you guys see? Like I have a button on my thing, but anyway, so I'm like numb like from my middle finger down and then into my palm. So it's like, and then a little bit on this side, but it's basically these 2 fingers and like that part of my palm. And it really sucks because I can't really, I can move my fingers, but there's like no strength to them. They're completely numb. If I hold something, it drops. That sucks. If I have like my hand in like hot water or cold water, I can eventually tell the temperature. So like that's a good sign. But like they're numb and it hurts. Like sometimes it gets really hot or sometimes it gets really cold, but it's numb and it's that hurt numb. So that's constant. That there's no relief, and other times it kind of spikes. So that's what I'm experiencing. I am experiencing a little bit of pain, which I'll get into in a second, in like my spine back. But most of the pain, it seems like the trigger point is weird. It's like in my armpit or in my elbow. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's like the ulnar nerve or something like that. So I saw my surgeon on the, God, I can't even keep these dates straight. What the hell? I don't know. I saw the surgeon this past Friday, and he was just like, all right, let's look at the MRI. So finally we looked at the MRI, saw the results, and he's like, all right, so there's a nerve at C8. So your discs go from like, you know, C7 to T1, but there's a nerve at C8. I'm becoming like a doctor here, guys. This is pretty cool. So anyway, it looks as though there's a little bit of herniation at C7 and T1 that is causing some pain. And it sucks because it's like right under my fusion. And then I don't know, something else. But anyway, he says that like the nerve from like C8 is what's probably causing all of it. But when I told him about like the whole palm thing, he kind of like raised his eyebrows. And I'm like, what does that mean? So we're going to go for an EMG test. I'm going to get my nerves tested because he's saying like, hopefully, it could just be a nerve thing where maybe I need surgery to like move a nerve somewhere. Like that would be best case scenario. The other thing that we discussed is I'm probably going to go in for another epidural. Not sure it's going to work because as of now, like it's not really doing anything. And I think the goal was that the epidural was going to obviously like, you know, decrease pain, but I thought it was going to like, you know, decrease inflammation and like give me like, get rid of this numbness because it fucking sucks. And the fact that I can't use it, I like try to go pull up my pants and like, I don't know where my finger's at and they're all curled up and I don't know, my luck, I'm going to break a freaking pinky because I can't feel it. Anyway, so it's frustrating. And it's frustrating knowing like there's more stuff happening. So as I had mentioned in that last video, if you've been following my series, can't believe it's only been 5 months. It feels like it's been years because it's always been a topic for me because it's always in pain. It's always something. That's the frustrating part. That's where it's like I got to get out of my head because it's like I don't want to talk about it anymore. Like I just want to go back to going to well, COVID too fucking sucks too. I was like, I'm going to start dating and then it's like COVID and then it's like, oh, your spine. So one of these days I'll get back to dating and not having like pain and issues. However, where we're at now is he said that it looks like if the EMG test, the nerve test comes back fine, we can't find anything. We just know that I have nerve issues going on. And if the epidural doesn't work, I'm going to get a second opinion, but he says what it looks like is I probably will need to get the laminectomy. And for those of you that don't know, that basically means they're going through the back of your neck and they're cutting through the muscle to get to the back of the spine. And he said, we're basically going to be needing to remove like almost all of the bones in my cervical spine. And he said, the recovery process sucks. It's a much more painful recovery. It's a much more painful surgery just because they're cutting through the muscle and like the whole like keeping your head up and everything. Like that's all your muscles back there. Because I told him, I was like, this surgery, like, knock on wood, like I was great after this surgery. Like the day that I got released from the surgery, I'm at Rite Aid, like doop-de-doo, going up and down the aisles, like picking up stuff. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I was pretty high still, I think. But regardless, like my recovery from this was great. So he's just like, you know, I didn't like the whole dependency on other people, but he said that this is probably going to be a much more painful surgery, a longer recovery. And I'm like, fuck, dude, really? The frustrating thing for me is the fact that I have almost the same symptoms, but a little bit more than what I did before the ACDF surgery. My brain is kind of like, fuck, like I wish I would have just like had this surgery, like this laminectomy thingy and just like got rid of the bones and whatever. And maybe avoided all of this and I could have just had one surgery, but I think he just wanted to go the smartest route, which would have been the easier surgery, in hopes that it worked. Again, because I was born with a stenosis, I'm kind of screwed, which means like I don't have a lot of space. So any additional things that occur in my spine, even down like the rest of my spine, I'm at risk for the spinal cord like issues. So he's saying the laminectomy should be like the final thing that I need, because if they remove all the bones, I still think about like a McGriddle or something like that, or I don't know, like the boneless McGriddle. I don't know why that comes to mind. If you were a Simpson, I'm a 90s kid or an 80s kid. I don't know. But he said that if they remove the bones from the back of my neck, it should open up enough space that even if I had other disc bulges or what have you, there should be enough space for my spinal cord to not be affected, therefore not having these transient like nerve issues or what have you. So that kind of sucks, because that's where, I mean, God, keep saying prayers or do your voodoo work, whatever it is. Like, I seriously, like, the day before my epidural, I was like, what happened? Like, I'm not using Mother Nature's thing, so why is the pain, unless my body was like, fuck this girl needs a break, and they just like, my body just turned off a switch and was just like, freedom. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I was blessed. Whatever happened that day, I was blessed because I needed it. So it just sucks. It sucks that this fucking thing just is still going on. And it kind of is like a buzzkill that I might need another surgery, one that might be a little bit harder, because it's like, you know, I don't mind scars and stuff, but it's just like, I want to be normal again. I want to like, but if he's saying like this might be it, he did say that I would be the youngest person that he's doing this surgery on. So, hey, if anybody has had a laminectomy of their cervical spine that's around my age group, let me know how you made out. I definitely will get another second opinion. I even contemplating like driving to like John Hopkins and being like, hey, you know, am I a special case? Let me know. That part sucks. So if anybody wants to like date me and like, you know, we can have like amazing connection and maybe get married, like all that fun stuff, but you also want to be like my caretaker during that time, I'm taking applications. I'm joking, sort of, not really. Yeah. Anyway, I have great girlfriends, but they all work and have kids. But I do have a cat, so anyway. This is deviating from where I wanted to go, but I figured I'd inject a little bit of humor since I cried the last time. By the way, it's amazing what like a shower and makeup does. Speaking of which, these pain meds and like not sleeping and constantly being in pain, like I have concealer on. You, I don't know if you can't tell, but like without concealer, it's like, man, what is up with this chick? Anyway, so yeah, so that's my update. Thank you all of you guys for like sending messages and commenting. I know a lot of you are going in for surgery. You're scared of surgery. If you don't have spinal stenosis, like you should be cool. But I'll help you with any questions that I can. I might have an abnormal outcome since mine was like so fabulous, knock on wood. But why do I need this other surgery? That part does suck. I really hope I don't need this other surgery, but if the first one was really good, maybe the second one won't be as bad. I just don't like the recovery process. I don't like the aspect of pain. I don't normally get headaches, and I can only imagine, like, cutting into all of this and like all of those muscles, like just moving normally. Ugh, I can imagine like the kind of headaches that like you'll get, like, you know, like the headaches that just like creep up from like the, oh, those are killer. I don't want those. But yeah, guys, like before I had that voodoo happen to me, like I was in a bad place mentally. Like that nonstop electrical, it was so debilitating, and I am so sorry for those of you that are going through it chronically. And for those of you that are putting up with it to avoid the surgery, just get the surgery. Easier said than done, I know, but it truly, it wasn't as scary as I thought it was, but maybe I lucked out. But this upcoming surgery, this laminectomy thing, yeah, it's kind of scary. But if you have had it done or you know someone, can you just give me some feedback? I would love to hear about it. But that's pretty much my update. If you guys have questions about all the other stuff from all the other videos of like things that I used or any tips or tricks, I'll just review the videos and let me know if any upcoming videos, if there's anything that you would like me to talk about. But again, I'm 5 months in. I don't know if it was a fluke from going hiking and picking up a box. Maybe I could have avoided all of this, but chances are because of the stenosis, like how bad my stenosis is in my neck, I just have a feeling it would have happened regardless, which is probably why he's saying that if we get the lamindectomy, it might be like the final thing. But this video is getting to be a little bit too long, and I have some work I gotta do. But from my house to yours, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was a little bit better of a video. Despite being in pain, I think I'm just getting used to it. You learn how to function with pain, unfortunately. You guys know. I'm just thankful that it's not as bad. But I'll keep you guys posted on everything. But as I said, that's the most recent thing since my most recent MRI and the most recent visit to the doctor. Once I get other test results and everything done, it won't be till the end of February. So fingers crossed, no additional pain or issues. So whoever's praying for me and keeping me in, God's good graces, like, yes, if you have the ability to use Mother Nature's food or whatever, I highly recommend it. Just don't drive or what have you on it. And make sure you get it, like, you tell your doctor about it. And don't take meds and stuff that you're not supposed to or that you're not prescribed. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Mwah! Have a beautiful night. Happy Tuesday, the 12th of January. Happy New Year. Hopefully Happy New Year. And we'll talk soon. Bye, y'all.